People keep saying trouble is coming for Michael on General Hospital. I think that word trouble is too small, honestly. This feels bigger than trouble, more like a slow-moving disaster that nobody notices until it is already standing in the middle of the room. And when the spoilers hint at it, they almost sound playful about it. Like, oh, Michael might have a problem soon. But the more I think about it, the more it feels like something that could wreck the rest of his life completely. Because the situation with Willow and Drew has already crossed the line into something dark. Not dramatic soap dark, I mean truly disturbing. Willow's already tried to kill Drew twice. Twice. That is not an accident or a moment of anger anymore. That is intent. That is someone who has decided another human being needs to disappear, and yet Drew is still alive. Somehow. Maybe luck, maybe timing, maybe the strange way this town refuses to let certain people die easily. Drew survived both attacks even though Willow was clearly trying to end him. You would think after failing twice someone might step back, maybe rethink things. But Willow does not seem like she is in a place where rethinking happens. The strange part is that Willow not finishing the job is not about mercy. I do not believe for 1 second she suddenly developed a conscience. No. The real reason seems colder than that. Willow actually needs Drew alive for now. That is the piece that makes the whole story uncomfortable to watch. Because the secret Willow is carrying might depend on Drew. And not just a little bit, it might depend on him completely. There are people already whispering that Willow should not be anywhere near political power. Her becoming a senator is not something everyone in Port Charles is ready to accept. Some people believe she does not have the experience. Others say she does not have the character. And honestly, when you watch what she has been doing lately, those concerns do not sound unfair. So Willow is planning something clever. Maybe clever in a cold way. Drew has this condition after the stroke. The self-locking behavior, the psychological shutdown, the moments where he cannot function normally. It is tragic in its own way. But to Willow, it might also be useful. And that thought is uncomfortable to sit with. Because imagine the optics. Willow standing strong, supporting Drew, protecting him, presenting herself as compassionate, stable, reliable. Meanwhile, Drew becomes this silent symbol that Willow can use to convince people she deserves power. A political stepping stone disguised as loyalty. I know that sounds harsh, but the more the story unfolds, the more it feels true. If Willow manages to secure that Senate seat, everything changes for her. Status, protection, influence. Suddenly, the same people who criticize her now would have to treat her carefully. No one mocks a senator openly. No one casually questions their authority. And Willow knows that. She is not naive. Some fans still try to defend her by saying she is confused or manipulated. I do not see that anymore. The pattern of her actions feels deliberate, calculated. She knows exactly what she is doing even when she pretends she does not. That is why Drew surviving so far might not be the victory people think it is. Because Willow may simply be waiting until the exact moment when she no longer needs him. It reminds me of something uncomfortable about power in general. Sometimes people only protect others because they are temporarily useful. Once the usefulness disappears, so does the protection. And if Willow becomes an official senator, the situation changes instantly. At that point, she would not need Drew anymore. The stepping stone would have done its job. Then what happens to Drew? That question is hanging over everything. The scary part is we already saw how fast Willow can move when she feels safe. The moment that court declared her not guilty in the shooting investigation, something shifted in her. Instead of relief, instead of reflection, she immediately rushed to attack Drew again with that syringe. That scene still sits wrong with me, because it showed how thin the barrier is between Willow pretending to be normal and Willow acting on her darker impulses. 1 minute she is standing in court surrounded by lawyers and cameras. The next minute she is trying to inject Drew with something that could have killed him. That kind of switch does not happen accidentally. It means the thought was already there. Waiting. So if Willow gets the power she wants, the title, the protection, the respect from the public, there is a real chance Drew will not survive long after that. But the story becomes even more chaotic with Michael stepping back into the picture. Michael arriving at Drew's house is one of those moments that feels almost like fate messing with everyone, because Willow probably did not expect it. And that unpredictability might ruin everything she planned. Michael has his own reasons for being there. Maybe suspicion, maybe instinct, maybe something small Willow did tip him off. That happens sometimes in soap stories. A tiny mistake that someone else notices. Michael has never fully trusted Willow again since their relationship collapsed. And honestly, who could blame him? There are too many secrets, too many strange behaviors, too many moments where Willow seemed like a completely different person. So Michael shows up, quietly, Maybe he thinks he will just check something, confirm a suspicion, and leave. Instead, he finds himself inside Drew's house looking at something important. That bottle of medication. The kind of detail that might reveal everything if it gets tested. Maybe it proves the syringe attack was real. Maybe it exposes a chemical that should not be there. Whatever the truth is, Michael clearly thinks it is worth stealing the bottle and getting it analyzed. And that decision might save Drew or destroy Michael. Because timing in this situation could not be worse. Willow comes home right at the exact moment Michael has the bottle in his hand. It is the kind of scene that makes your stomach tighten because you know instantly what it means. Willow does not need time to figure things out. One glance is enough. She sees Michael. She sees the medication bottle. She understands the entire situation in a second. Michael's about to expose her. That realization would push someone already unstable straight over the edge. And Willow has already shown she is capable of violence when cornered, so the moment becomes explosive. Michael probably tries to talk. He always does. He has this habit of believing people can still be reasoned with even after they cross terrible lines. Maybe he starts asking questions, maybe accusing her, maybe demanding answers. But words do not matter if Willow has already decided what must happen. A gun appears, or something else equally dangerous. Then everything moves too fast. A shot, maybe one shot, maybe more. Michael collapsing, holding his stomach, shocked not just by the pain but by the realization of who pulled the trigger. There is something especially tragic about that moment. Not just because he might die, but because the last thing he sees is the woman he once trusted completely. Michael spent years believing Willow was kind, gentle, someone who needed protection from the chaos around her. And now that image is shattered in the most brutal way possible. I imagine him staring at her like he cannot process it. Like his brain refuses to accept what his eyes are seeing. And then he starts speaking, maybe slowly because breathing hurts. Those last words people give in moments like this always carry weight in soap stories. Sometimes they are accusations, sometimes regret. Maybe Michael asks her why. Not in anger, more like genuine confusion. Why did you become this person? Why did you choose this? Those questions would probably cut deeper than any insult. Because deep down, Willow might still remember the life she used to have. The version of herself that seemed compassionate and hopeful. But ambition and fear have twisted everything. Now she stands in a room with two men who both know too much. Drew somewhere nearby, Michael bleeding on the floor, and Willow facing a decision that will define the rest of her life. If she lets Michael live, everything collapses. He will tell the truth. The investigation will reopen. Her political dreams vanish instantly. If she finishes what she started, the secret might survive. That is the horrifying calculation happening inside her head. I keep thinking about how strange it is that power can change people so much. Willow once felt like one of the more gentle characters in the entire show. Watching her turn into someone capable of planning multiple murders is unsettling. And yet, the transformation did not happen overnight. Little compromises, little lies, small moments where she chose ambition over honesty. Each step probably felt justified at the time, until suddenly she is standing in this moment with a gun in her hand, trying to erase 2 lives in a single day. There is also the irony that Michael might have come there believing he was the one exposing a villain. Instead, he becomes another victim of the story. He never expected Willow to be this ruthless. No one did. That might be the cruelest part of the whole situation. Willow has learned how to hide her intentions behind calm expressions and careful words. Even people who know her well keep underestimating what she is capable of. But now the mask is gone. In that house, in that moment, the real Willow is visible. And Michael sees it right before everything fades. I do not know if this show will actually go as far as killing him. Soap operas like to keep doors open. Characters survive impossible injuries all the time. But even if Michael lives, the damage is permanent. The illusion about Willow is gone forever. She is not confused. She is not manipulated. She knows exactly what she is doing. And that realization changes the entire future of the story. Because if Willow escapes this situation and still becomes a senator, imagine the power she would hold. A person capable of this level of manipulation sitting in a political position. That thought alone is chilling. And Drew, poor Drew, might still be part of her plans until the very last moment. It almost feels like everyone around Willow is slowly becoming expendable pieces on a board she is rearranging for her own survival. Michael just happened to move at the wrong time. Wrong place. Wrong day. Sometimes soap stories exaggerate human behavior to create drama, but this one touches something real about how ambition can corrupt people who once seemed harmless. Watching that shift is uncomfortable, and also weirdly fascinating, because now the question is not whether Willow will try to kill again. She already has. The question is whether anyone can stop her before she succeeds.